וסועב להתעלית ברבייסך רצי השם אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ולסבילת שם והשי וסועב להתעלית ברבייסך ואישי ישראל החיו סבילת שם ואישי ישראל מהר דיאבה זה קבל בירתם היי ואישי ואישי ישראל היי ואישי ישראל החיו סבילת שם ואישי ישראל מהר דיאבה זה קבל בירתם היי ואישי ואישי ישראל la 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 whoa na 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 whoa na 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 baby say it say it so whoa na 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 whoa na 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 whoa na 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 baby say it Israel
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and to pay tribute to the United States Armed Forces, as well as to the State of Israel, we now have the presentation of the colors by the UCLA Air Force ROTC and the flag of Israel displayed by Michael and Joshua Friedman.
Perilous fight. Kolot bareva penima nefesh yehudi homia ulfatei mizrach kadima ayin Tzion Sophia od lovda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liyotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim liyotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Thank you. Please remain standing. In light of the current situation we Americans find ourselves in today, and in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, I call upon Rabbi Yosef Friedman, our Daf Yomi Maggid Shir, Rebbe and teacher at Yeshiva University High Schools of Los Angeles, as well as a prominent member of our congregation, to lead us in the prayers for the President of the United States and our government, and the prayer for the welfare of the State of Israel and the Mishaberach of the Israel Defense Forces.
Please answer Amen to the Tefillah B'ad Shalom HaMedina. Hanosin Teshur HaMelachim U'Memshal L'Nesichim Malchusah Malchuscha Olamim Hapotze Es David Avdo Micherev Ra Hanosin B'Yam Derech U'V'Mayim Azim Desiva Hu Yevarek Es Hanasi V'Es Mishneu V'Es Kol Sari HaMedinos Elu Melech Malchei HaMelachim B'Rachamav Yechayim V'yishmerem b'kol tzara v'yagon v'nesek yatzilem v'yitem b'libam b'vlev kol yoatzehem v'sarehem l'asos tovos imanu v'im kol Yisrael achenu v'yameim u'v'yameinu tivasha Yehuda v'Yisrael yishkon levetach u'val etzion goel v'kein yihiratzon v'namar Amen. Mishaberach l'chayolei tzahal Mishaberach avosenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov hu yevarek es chayolei tzava hagana l'Yisrael Ha'omdim al mishmar tzenu, v'yarei Eloheinu, migavul ha'levanon v'yad midbar Mitzrayim, u'min hayam hagadol ad ravo ha'arava, v'yabasha v'avir u'vayam. Yitein Adonai es oyevenu hakamim aleinu nigafim lefnehem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmor v'yatzel es chayolenu mikol tzara v'tzuka u'mikol nega u'machla. V'yishlach bracha v'hatzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedehem, yad b'ersonenu tachtehem, v'yatreim b'keser Yeshua u'v'ateres nitzachon. V'kuyem b'hem akasav ki Adonai Elohechem ha'holech imachem v'hilachem lachem im oyevechem l'oshiaschem v'nomar Amen. Tefillah b'ad shalom medinat Yisrael. Avinu shebashamayim tzor Yisrael v'go'alo. Barech es medinas Yisrael reishet smichas ge'ulasenu. Hagein aleha b'revras chazdecha. Ufros aleha sukkah shalamecha. Yishlach arecha v'yamitecha l'rosheha sareha v'yotzeha. V'sachenein be'etza tova l'fanecha. Chazek es yidei magine eretz kachenu v'hanchileim Eloheinu Yeshua v'ateretz yitzachom te'atreim v'nasata shalom ba'aretz v'simcha salam v'yoshreha v'yasachenu kol beis Yisrael b'kadna b'kol artzos b'zireihem v'solichem b'herel kol mios l'tzion irecha v'li Yerushalayim mishkan shemecha kakasu b'soras Moshe avdecha im yiyeh nedachacha miksei hashemayim misham yikabetzcha Adonai Elohecha u'misham yikachecha v'yaviyacha Adonai Elohecha es haaretz El aretz asher yarshu v'secha v'yishtah v'yitivacha v'hirbacha mi'avosecha v'yached l'vavenu yahavo yirah shemecha v'lishmor es kol divrei sarasecha v'shlach lanu mehira ben David Mashiach tzidkecha l'ftos mechachekei yeshuasecha v'hofar v'hadar gaon uzecha al kol yoshvei sevel artzecha v'yomar kol asher neshama v'yapo Adonai Elohei Yisrael melech malchusa b'chol mashallah Amen Selah.
Thank you very much, and we just hope that Hashem Yishmor Aleinu. Please be seated. Dinner is to be served. We hope you enjoy your dinner b'tei avot. Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Erev Tov and Bruchim Abayim. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to our pre-Purim Bash, the 27th annual banquet of the Young Israel of Century City. I am proud to be your master of ceremonies for the evening, and I'm certain that each and every one of you will have a most enjoyable time tonight. There's going to be great food, fine wine, wonderful music, cheap entertainment, and speeches so good they will leave you begging for more. Tonight, we are pleased to honor a most deserving couple, our esteemed past president and his wife, Alan and Dorit Teichman, our Tribute Award awardees. Their devotion to our shul in particular, and countless worthwhile institutions in our community and throughout the world, is an inspiration to us all. We also bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award to our very own wonderful Rose and Zolton Friedman, a couple so well liked and respected in our shul. We really have the world's best honorees. You will, of course, hear more about them throughout the evening. All indications are that it's going to be quite the event tonight, and your attendance here has made this a most successful banquet, and your participation and support of our Young Israel is greatly appreciated. Let's begin with a little bit of housekeeping first. First of all, someone lost a Motorola cell phone. I've been calling Israel. My daughter Melissa's fine. Anyway, if somebody... Yossi Finn, give me a simon. Well, how do you know it's yours?
Marco.
That's right. Okay, good. And somebody lost a beautiful, beautiful diamond pin. If you lost a pin, the line is going to start. The line starts right over here. Now, if somebody lost a pin... Let's say, if somebody lost it, please come see me. Also, you noticed when you first came into the hotel, upstairs in the lobby, we have a silent auction. So throughout the night, until 9 o'clock, you can put your bids in on the silent auction for these beautiful, beautiful artworks. And at 9 o'clock, we will be closing the silent auction. I now call upon Craig Levine, who will tell you about tonight's exciting raffle and auction. We thank Craig Levine and we thank Brad Markoff for all their assistance in arranging the gifts for tonight's raffle. Craig.
Okay, every year we have a raffle at the shul dinner. This year I believe it's probably the best in all the years. We got over 40 gifts, I believe. Some you can see here, some are underneath the table, some are gift certificates. Everybody has the sheets on their table and raffles to fill out. You see the prices. We will have 6 ladies from the shul come around during dinner to pick up the your raffles that you sign. And I'd like to thank Brad, partner with me to do this, and all the people that dedicated their time and donated, more importantly, donated the prizes. I appreciate it. And we'll do the raffle a little bit later in the dinner, and thank you very much. Please buy as many as you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Everybody buy those raffles. Fill out the forms on your table. During dinner, they will be picked up. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? As always, one of the highlights of our banquet is the announcement of the Keter Shem Tov awardee. You will hear about the award in just a moment. I must tell you, however, that contest rules stipulate that one cannot be eligible for the Keter Shem Tov award if your home was ever inspected by Hans Blix or if you ever babysat for one of Michael Jackson's kids. Please welcome the fantastic and hardworking president of Young Israel of Century City, the Honorable Dr. George Leibovitz, who will announce the awardee.
Before I present the award, let me just add my personal congratulations to the Teichmans and the Friedmans. We are so delighted to have you as part of our Young Israel family, and the honors that you're getting tonight are richly deserved. Shoka egesh sheget eshminden yod kivanut nektek esh chalat. Welcome to our annual Academy Awards portion of the evening. The Academy would like to thank you for joining us, making this a momentous occasion. It is our longtime tradition to honor individuals of outstanding achievement, performance, and service to our shul and community, akin to the best supporting actor or actress. 16 years ago, our shul's board of directors unanimously voted that at our annual tribute dinner, a member would be selected to receive the Keter Shem Tov Award. The Keter Shem Tov Award is presented to a member who volunteers his or her time in a selfless fashion for the benefit of the shul. The identity of the awardee remains secret until the presentation on the night of the annual dinner. Past recipients of this distinguished honor have been 1988, Martin Gottesman of blessed memory, 1989, Menachem Goldberg, 1990, Yaakov Glasser, 1991, Wendy Platt, 1992, Richard Seeger, 1993, Daniel Arnold, 1994, Marty Pollack, 1995, Rabbi Fred Fisher of blessed memory, 1996, Dorit Teichman, 1997, Marsha Wasserman, 1998, Sherry Schlesinger, 1999, Rebecca Jalali, 2000, Dr. George and Grace Fox, 2001, Uri Hirsch, and 2002, Irving Lichtig. Tonight, we proudly announce our 16th mystery recipient. Our Keter Shem Tov awardee was born at a very young age, right here in Los Angeles, and was educated among the stars. After only 4 months of dating, he proposed to his wife just like at the movies. He got on his knees and presented her with an engagement ring on a silver platter. An avid sports fan, our awardee had season tickets to the Los Angeles Raiders and went to every home game of the team. He spends a great deal of time in his car or flying around the world for business. He has flown to almost every major city in the United States and even to Cleveland. His travel has taken him to mainland China, where he goes. He likes taking with him books on tapes. Classical literature isn't his thing, rather he reads spy novels. Blessed with silver white hair, which he covers with a hat on Shabbat, this individual loves rearranging the family refrigerator every night. By morning, all the leftovers are taken to the office where his fellow workers enjoy his wife's fabulous cooking. Chesed runs deep in our awardee's blood. His love of our shul is famous, and he volunteers for more jobs than anyone else. For the past 12 years, his Thursday night hangout has been at Tomchei Shabbos. There he ensures that our members deliver boxes of food to the poor while running his own route as well. On Saturday night, he makes sure that our shul's Shabbos leftovers are delivered to a homeless shelter, and when he has extra time, he co-chairs the OU convention. Without a doubt, he is our shul's leading expert on nuts and bolts, and is YICC's #1 fisherman. Would you please join me in saluting the man that his colleagues call the Silver Fox, our shul's vice president of Chesed, and our very special Keter Shem Tov awardee, Jeff Presser.
may be seated. Thank you. Mazel tov, Jeff. Mazel tov, Jeff. Mazel tov, the entire Presser family. Please be seated. All of you received a gift. All of you received a gift when you entered this evening. This beautiful Megillah can be used for your Purim celebration this year, tomorrow night in fact, and for years to come. They are truly beautiful Megillot, and we hope that you will enjoy them. The banquet committee, however, as in the past, always strives to give you a heartfelt, touching memento that will remain a keepsake for years to come. After much discussion, it dawned on us that many of you have not had the pleasure of being honored at a shul dinner yet. And many of you would like to, at least for the moment, get a feel for that experience. We also know that some of you may not ever want to be an honoree whatsoever, but you're still curious to know what it would feel like. And of course, we know full well that there are those of you who harbor secret desires to give sermons, to make appeals, and to shush people during davening. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, your wishes have come true. We present to you the official YICC, Young Israel of Century City, Purim masks for your personal use. You can finally be Alan Teichman. And if you want to get in touch with your feminine side, you can be Dorit Teichman. And for you guys who never got smicha, you can be the rabbi. So these are going to be tremendous. The waiters are coming and they're handing them out to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, knowing the rabbi as I do, Rabbi, the rabbi is going to come tomorrow night to shul. He's going to bring his own mask, right, Rabbi? Exactly. Just a warning. Don't wear these masks on Halloween. It's an Isser Doraisa, and it can also scare little children as well. Now, this is the first in the series of YICC masks. Make sure you collect them all. We would like to thank once again the most generous Brad and Mia Markoff for producing and donating these wonderful masks. And while I'm thanking, I'd like to thank, as always, Jeff Cohn of JDC Design, our member, for all the work that he does for the banquet, designing the tribute book, the invitations, and in general for all the time and energy he donates to the shul to make us look so good. Thank you so much, Jeff Cohn. Everybody, please. Thank you. I'd like to read a letter that we received. Dear officers of Young Israel of Century City, thank you for your impressive invitation to your annual tribute event. We are special friends of Rose and Zolton Friedman from the time they resided in Chicago some years ago. They overcame difficult Holocaust beginnings to establish a Torah true life. They have met life's challenges with courage and Jewish commitment. They have raised their two sons in the path of Yiddishkeit and mitzvot. Rose and Zolton have always shown keen interest and involvement as genuine benefactors of synagogue and of day school education. Rabbi Shlomo Rappaport, Principal Emeritus after 35 years of the Ida Crown Jewish Academy in Chicago, can testify to their idealism. May Hashem bless you all for recognizing the worth of such honorees as the Friedmans. With warmest regards for the continued progress of your congregation, and regards to Rabbi Muskin, sincerely, Rabbi Shlomo and Hilda Rappaport. It is now my pleasure to call upon Rabbi Muskin to make the presentation of our Lifetime Achievement Award. Rabbi Muskin.
The story is told about a little boy, Yossi, who was invited with his family to his Bubby's house for Sunday night dinner. And as Bubby set out the food, Yossi immediately started eating. He didn't wait to make a bracha, to make a blessing. His mother turned to him and said, Yossi, you can't eat without first saying a blessing. You know, that's what I taught you in our home. We always make a bracha before we eat. And Yossi said, that's true, that's our home, but Bubby knows how to cook. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're honoring a Bubby and a Zadie. Not because I understand the food is outstanding, but rather literally what they've cooked during their life. And it's been a magnificent, magnificent legacy. When I think of Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, I'm reminded of a comment of the Zohar HaKadosh that says the following pertaining to the Mishkan. The Torah tells us, as the Mishkan, the first synagogue ever to be built, it was built with beams, with planks. Va'asisa et hakrashim lamishkan atzei shitim omdim. You shall make the beams of the Mishkan of shittim wood, standing erect. So the Mishkan was constructed by the great architect Bezalel to have a number of pieces of wood, and they stood erect. But how did they all stand erect? How were they able to stand there? Because it was built, two walls going one way and then one wall at the end. How were they able to stand? And the Torah tells us there was a briach hatichon. There was a middle beam. And this middle beam went from the very beginning of the Mishkan through the first plank, made a 180-degree miraculous turn, and came around, made another 180-degree miraculous turn, and it held the whole Mishkan from end to end. And the rabbis in the Zohar wanted to know, what kind of plank, what kind of pole is this that went right through miraculously? And the Zohar tells us it was a staff. It was somebody's staff. It was the mateh of Yaakov Avinu, of Jacob our forefather. But why Jacob's staff? That miraculously they put through, and it went and held the Mishkan together. And the reason is very simple. Because that staff of Jacob our forefather is the same staff that he took when he crossed the Yabok River that terrible night, where he had to wrestle with an angel of Esav. And he was victorious. But that was a hell of a night. And so the Torah tells us, the next morning, the angel said, your name will no longer be Jacob. It will be Yisrael. Why? For you have battled with both me, God, and man, and you've been victorious. The Zohar says, Amudo de Yaakov, Rozo de Moshe. The staff of Jacob is the secret of Moses. When we're able to go through the hell with the staff and come out believing in a God, raising children and grandchildren to understand the implications of a Mate Yaakov, then we've succeeded. So I wonder to myself, how do we explain a gentleman like Mr. Friedman, Baruch Hashem, 89 years young, Baruch Hashem, Ken Yerbu, but your feet aren't so good, and it's hard for you to get to shul, but you come. You came yesterday when so many people, your junior, wouldn't dare go out in that rain, but you weren't going to miss shul. And so I wondered, who is this Mr. Friedman? And his son tells me, Steve tells me, from the earliest times of your childhood, the one thing you remembered of your father was every morning he woke up and there he had talis and tefillin on, even under communist rule, even when the Nazis said no. This man suffered something terrible, lost a whole family in the Holocaust, but then remarried and built a beautiful mishpacha because he carries the mate of Yaakov. And I wondered, who's Mrs. Friedman? This energetic lady who, Baruch Hashem, she has the energy of a teenager. She moves faster than anybody I know. She's the only person I know who's able to follow the wisdom of buy low and sell high. A very bright business lady. But what's her secret? How does a lady who went through Bergen-Belsen and a week before it was liberated, she watched a sister die in her hands of typhus. How do you handle that? And how do you go and build a mishpacha? And again, I turned to her son and I said, what is it? Steve, tell me, what is it about Mom? And he said, Mom has this energy that never ends. And she's always willing to try things that are new. She's never frightened by new. But most important, my mom, she knows the value of Jewish education. And it was in Chicago, as you heard, and it's here in Los Angeles. It's Rose Friedman who goes around and collects for Hillel Hebrew Academy, for our shul, for so many Mostos Torah, so many institutions of Torah. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Rose and Zolton Friedman walk with the mate of Yaakov. That's their briach hatichon. It has held their home together, and they've never let it go. I want to wish you a bracha of arichas yomim vishonim, of both wonderful days ahead and years ahead. Continue doing what you do so well. We are honored to be able to salute you tonight, for you honestly know the secret of how to build the Mishkan, and we admire you for it. I call upon the chairman of our synagogue, the chairman of the board, David Nagel, to make the presentation of the gift.
In deciding what appropriate gift to give to our wonderful honorees, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, we chose a besammen box shaped as a guitar to be our gift of appreciation. Rose and Zoltan Friedman, you have enriched all who you know, and you've enriched them with the music of life and devotion to all of our traditions and values. It is our collective wish that you, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, will be blessed with many years of good health, of arichas yamim, and only nachas from your family, from your community, and from our kehillah here at Young Israel Century City. The inscription on the gift reads, Young Israel of Century City, Lifetime Achievement Award, presented to Rose and Zoltan Friedman, March 16, 2003, the 12th day of Adar Bes 5763, Elazar Muskin Rabbi, Dr. George Leibovitz, President. Thank you.
Shalom to all of you. And dear God, please bring peace to us so we could be in content. I would like to congratulate Ellen and Dorit Teichman. I knew Ellen a little bit, but in January was a year we went to Israel, and I really know now who Ellen is. He has 2 hearts and 2 hands, and the hands are open always for him. He let me talk on his phone. I wanted to pay. He said no. That wasn't enough. When we came home from the airport, he gave me a ride home, and he took out my suitcase, and I wanted to take it in, and he wouldn't let me. I wanted to give him a tip, but he did not want to take it. So I owe Dorit a tip. And she's gonna have to tell me what that should be. Now I want to talk about our shul and about our rabbi. Our rabbi always tells the bar mitzvah boys, I have to look up to you. Especially to my grandson who is 6'4". Now, Rabbi, I have to look up to you. The rabbi is a wonderful man, and I really do look up to him. I am very happy in the shul, and I will do anything for the shul. Now, I want to tell, he runs the shul like a good teacher in the classroom. He holds everybody together. And I appreciate that very, very much. So thank you, Rabbi. And also, thank you for the committee that they choose me as an honoree. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And we should have peace and shalom.
How was that for honorees? Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman. Mazel tov. Please be seated. We'll remind you that during dinner, the silent auction will close at 9 o'clock, so remember to sign up for it. Shh. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. To pay honor and tribute, to pay honor and tribute to their parents, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the true young Israel, the beautiful and talented Ariella, Jacqueline, and Evan Teichman. Please come forward.
B'nai Banim, B'tiferet Banim Avotam. Children's children are the crown of grandparents, and the glory of children are their parents. Dear Mommy and Daddy, tonight is our turn to say how proud we are of you, how lucky we are to have you walk in front of us, preparing the path for our future.
How fortunate we are to have you as our parents. Your love and encouragement know no bound. No 3 kids could feel more loved.
Mazel tov, we love you.
Thank you, Ariella. Thank you, Jacqueline. For those of you who know our shul well, We're always trying to be on the cutting edge. In addition to receiving shul announcements by regular U.S. mail, we get called by an automated dialing system. We receive emails. Boy, do we receive emails. In fact, we get the shul Shabbos announcements by Tuesday on our email. Then we get them again on Wednesday. Then we get them on Thursday. And then we get them on Friday with updates for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What is up with that? The board, in looking to expand its ever-broadening horizons, has decided to take the next step. We will be, God willing, setting up the Young Israel of Century City Television Network to broadcast not only important shul announcements, but also a network that will bring you news, sports, and entertainment the way we would like to see it. Friends, you know that no matter when you watch TV today, you inevitably come across those reality shows. Our network will be no different. We will have those as well. But because of our wholesome values instilled into the content will have to be slightly modified so that it will be appropriate for our Torah and God-fearing community. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the video screen to see a preview of our upcoming pilots YICC television network. These are the reality TV shows we'd really like to see. I don't know if you can you see back there? You can see, okay, good. Okay. I'm sure many of you have seen this show. It's Fear Factor. See it every week. A little bit scary, a little bit gross, but that's not for us. What we're gonna see, Ayin Horror Factor. And let me tell you a little bit about what that show is gonna be about. Young Israel of Century City, Bali Simcha, are faced with tons of compliments by Rabbi Muskin, and no Kenai Nahara can save them. Some of you have seen this show, Meet My Folks. Meet My Machatanim. This show is shidduch prospects are tested by in-laws with a lie detector to see if they really want to earn or learn. Now this has come back already a second time. There used to be a Star Search, remember, with Ed McMahon? Now it's back again with Arsenio Hall, but of course that's not for us. We have Stark Search. Stark Search is Hillel Hebrew Academy holds a talent competition for next dean who can raise money and speak Farsi. Hey, I'm chairing that committee. It ain't easy, okay? Now, a lot of you have seen this show, Big Brother, where everybody gets put into a little house and they got to live together, you know, and see how they get together. Of course, that's not for us. Men and women living together, we don't like that kind of thing. We have lots and lots of Big Brothers. And that's a show about frum kids stuck in a banged up station wagon on Detroit Street. Have any of you seen this, The Surreal Life? Anybody seen that? Well, of course, on our show, it's The Shul Real Life. And the premise of that show, of course, B-list Jewish celebrities such as Uncle Moishi, Tamir Goodman, and Shmuley Boteach are stuck at Young Israel of Century City and forced to listen to George Leibovitz puns. The Real World. And of course, on our TV network, The Israel World. And what this is about, in a show of solidarity, Rabbi Muskin goes to Israel to raise money to purchase motor scooters for Nagila pizza delivery. And then you've seen America's Most Wanted. They were the ones who found Elizabeth Smart. It was through them. I mean, they really, an amazing, amazing show. America's Most Wanted, yes? And then, of course, we have YICC's Most Wanted, and you know who they are. Searching for the Kiddush Club. Hey, comedy is not pretty, okay? Kiddish, exactly. Okay, Baruch. Did you take your medicine, Baruch? And I'm sure many of you have seen the show Cops, the reality show about all the different kinds of police from different places. Our show is called Cops, which is a Yiddish police show about Goyish cops. And this is the best reality show. American Idol, singing, they win your heart, everything. But of course ours is American Bridal. And what that is thousands of Kala wannabes compete to get on the onlysimchas.com homepage. And remember her, the Bachelorette. She picks her husband. Of course, that's not here's our Bachelorette. True confessions of a certain college dropout. Okay. And then many of you have seen the show Blind Date, where they fix you up on a blind date. What a good name, Blind Date. We have Kind Date. And Kind Date is a true chesed, going out with him or her just because your mother makes you, okay? And of course, Survivor, our flagship. That's Welcome to the Jewish History Channel. No? Do I have to repeat that? Okay, forget. Okay. Last summer there was a show called Dog Eat Dog. I don't know if you saw that one, but it's a catchy name for a show. Ours is Yid Eats Dog, and ours is a popular cooking show that features cholent recipes from Vietnam. How's that one, Baruch? Yep. Okay. Now, I am telling you, I don't know how many of you watch MTV, these Osbournes are the best. Ozzy and Sharon, they are unbelievable. It's a great show. It is filthy like crazy. It would be just not appropriate for us. This is what we're going to have. We're going to have the... Larry, where are you? A typical American family that just can't resist always having Minion in their house. Okay. You've seen the show Cheaters. Well, they check up on you, cheaters, but... How to write all your checks to the shul and never pay the IRS again, okay? Excellent. And I don't know how many of you have seen this, Celebrity Mole Hawaii, a great show where they all go to Hawaii, and one of them is a mole. Here's the celebrity mole. Rabbi Lebovitz discloses his tips for a shortcut. And finally, we couldn't have a network without Joe Millionaire. One of the top shows. People were watching this thing every single week to see who they would find, and the girl didn't know that he really wasn't a millionaire. Unbelievable show. What we're going to show is Joe Colell. He really doesn't learn, but the Beis Yaakov girls don't know that. So tune into our network. We hope you enjoy our shows. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin dinner. There was a middle-aged woman had a heart attack. Middle-aged woman had a heart attack and she was been taken to the hospital. And while she's on the operating table, she had a near-death experience. Seeing God, she asks, "Is my time up?" God says, "No, you have another 43 years, 2 months and 8 days to live." So she recovers. The woman decides to stay in the hospital. She's gonna have a facelift. She has liposuction. She has a tummy tuck. since she had so much more time to live, she figured she might as well look nicer than ever. After her last operation, she's released from the hospital. Then when she's crossing the street to go home, she was killed by an ambulance. Arriving in front of God, she says, I thought you told me I had another 40 years. Why didn't you pull me out of the path of that ambulance? So God replied, I didn't recognize you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you recognize the people at your table. Enjoy your dinner, b'tei avon. We'll see you after dinner. Thank you. Gabbai Uri Hirsch, our Gabbai in Shul, Uri Hirsch, goes up to a guest in Shul and he says, I want to give you an aliyah. He says, what's your name? He asks the man. And the man says, Esther Bas Moshe. So the Gabbai says, no, I need your name. The man says, it's Esther Bas Moshe. The Gabbai asks, how can that be your name? The man answers, I've been having serious financial problems, so everything's in my wife's name. Planning a beautiful banquet like this evening takes a lot of work and effort. I, of course, thank the banquet committee for all their efforts, but ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't do what we do without the help of our shul's administrator, Miss Rebecca Jalali. We publicly thank her for all that she does. Rebecca, as always, you're the best. And we also welcome and give a big thank you to Ms. Chana Teichman for all of her assistance in helping arrange this beautiful evening. Thank you, Chana. Perhaps only once in a lifetime will we have the unique privilege and opportunity to experience a master performer and entertainment genius. An entertainer who has such an amazing and seemingly endless wealth of talents, combined with classic charm and stunning good looks. An entertainer so exceptional, so mind-numbingly fabulous that he completely captures the attention, affections, and adorations of audiences young and old around the world. Unfortunately, that entertainer couldn't be with us tonight. Instead, we have a person who admittedly is not in Who's Who in America. However, he is president and general manager of Who's He of San Bernardino. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pete McLeod.
Thank you very much. Please remain seated. Nice to be with you here tonight at the Omni Hotel in Los Angeles. My name is Pete McLeod. I just returned from performing at Caesars in Las Vegas. No, actually it was Little Caesars, but I did 2 shows for 1 low price. Pizza. I would like to begin with my most difficult and dangerous trick of the evening. Kids, don't try this at home. I am a trained professional. Watch. Thank you. It's a gift. It really is. It's a gift. I need to give you a test. Don't worry, it is not a difficult test. It will test your eyes and your brain, what you see and what you remember, observation and memorization with this little board and this dot. Can all of you say 1 dot? Excellent, class. On this side we have 4 dots. Could you say 4 dots? 4 dots. Let's review. On this side, 1 dot. Very good. This side. 4 dots, very good. This side, 3 dots, very good. This side, 6 dots, excellent. 1 dot. Were some of you having more trouble seeing or remembering? No, I was tricking you. When I say there's 1, actually there are 2. I cover 1 up, you see? And then I do that again. I say there are 4, but in reality there are 5. I cover 1 up. But this time I want you to think I cover 1 up, so I say 3. As if I'm covering up the 3rd one, but there's just the 2. And then I do that again. I say 6, as if I'm covering up the 6, but there's just the 5, which puts us back to the 1, which is really the 2. Are we following along, class? Good. I didn't know I could keep doing it all night. I say 6, as you know, but there really is just the 5 on that side. Then you say 3, but as you know, just the 2. That's for sure. Then, of course, the 8 would be on that side. Sometimes they clap right there, sometimes they don't, but that's okay. This is so fun. You know, I never know if people are going to like my little tricks or jokes, because growing up I didn't want to be a stand-up comedian or a magician. I wanted to be a doctor, but my parents made me become a magician. So, thank you. I would now like to perform for you what I consider to be the most fantastic magic trick you will ever see from a performer in my price range. Thank you. With a clenched fist, a brightly colored scarf, ladies and gentlemen, the production of a dove. Watch. One more time. The production of a dove. Where's the bird? No, watch. 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 Okay, I just wondered if you're paying attention, class. That's all there is to it. There we go. You didn't like it? No, that's okay. I can do something else if you didn't like it. That's okay. And this. Oh, you didn't? Oh, thank you. This is actually my pet bird. His name is Larry. Larry Bird, and he can fly. See, woo! Could you fly him back up to me, please, if you can, at the count of 3. 1. That's okay. Want to keep her away from those spotted owls, that's for sure. Anyway, this is Larry. I hope you enjoyed him. I need to put him away right now because he's kind of a lonesome dove. Am I going too fast for some of you here tonight? No. Normally, I wouldn't take the time during my program to fold up my scarf, but I have another show coming up in July, and I want to be ready for that. Recently, this is true. Recently, I just signed with an international talent agency. Now I can be out of work all over the world. I'm sorry, that's a joke, but that's anyway. Well, I hate to do this. I'm sorry, but have you ever had a stone in your shoe? No, I'm sorry. No, this thing. Boy, that thing is just. No, it's very painful. I'm sorry, I did. I'm sorry. That's it. Oh, actually, this is my Bill Clinton trick. Little Rock. Sorry, I guess I just took it for granted. Anyway, that's okay. Next time I'll be a little bolder. This is fun. You guys are such. Thank you for that kind response. What I thought I would do is take just a minute and have a little change of pace in my program here. I kind of want to bring you down from the frenzy that I've worked you up into. And I want to teach you how to do a little magic trick. Now, if you don't want to learn it, it'll only last about 2 minutes. But I'm going to show you how to do a little trick. I'm breaking the magician's code tonight. I'll perform this trick, and then I will explain how to do it, and all you need is a little handkerchief. I have a little black one, but you can use any color that you want to. I'll perform it first so you see how it goes, and then I'll explain it. All you do is take a little handkerchief and pull it through my hand, maybe once or twice, something like this. Then I tuck it into the top of my clenched fist. After I've done that, only a moment or two, it does not take long, I reach underneath and pull out the hot pink colored handkerchief. At this part of the routine, there's generally a collective gasp from the audience. Thank you. Sometimes they sit in stunned silence. That's okay, Jeanette, don't worry about it, that's fine. The black continues to go in, the pink pops out. I'm through with the trick. I've changed a black handkerchief to a pink one. This is where the audience generally claps enthusiastic. Thank you. I knew you would. I've been doing this trick for 3 or 4 years now. And actually 5. I started in, 98, 203, 5. Thanks for that round of apathy. Now here's what I told you. I promised I would tell you how this trick works, and here is how it is accomplished. You have to have 2 handkerchiefs. How else would you do it? No, okay. The pink one I keep right there. The black one I keep right here. Now you take the pink one, stick it into your hand when nobody's watching. This is the preparation part of the trick. Now when you do this for your friends at home, miss, I'm sure you will. When you do, you can use a pink handkerchief and a black one, but don't use 2 pink ones or 2 black ones. Otherwise the effect is rather obscure. Now, You're ready to go. Now, when you do this for your friends, I know you will. When you do not open this hand, okay? Now, I can, but you shouldn't. It's very important. That's very good. Now, I think some of you are catching on. See, I do a magic trick, and then you clap. This is very good, class. Really. It's very, very good. I pull this through my hand once or twice. You remember that part. Tuck it into the top. You all remember that, don't you? Of course you do. Then you reach under, pull out the pink. You remember the pink. You remember the collective gasp. You remember the stunned silence. That's okay, don't worry. Many times after my programs, people come up to me and they say, Fred, which is odd because my name is Pete. But they say, Fred, what if I'm doing this trick and this happens? Well, that's bad. You don't want that to happen. You tuck it back up in. You don't want people to actually realize that you have two handkerchiefs. You pull it out, you're done. If they like it and they clap, that's good. If they don't, just forget it. Move on to your next trick. How to do a little magic trick. Thank you. You are so nice. This is. I just wanted to tell you, this has nothing to do with my show, but it's something I'm really excited about. I have a little daughter. Her name is Mandy, and this week my daughter started walking. It's so exciting. Thank you. I'm so excited. And she started walking because she got her car repossessed. And sorry, she couldn't make those pesky payments every month. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's it. You guys are fun. Wow, this is fun. What a nice group. You know, this is the part of the program that I always look forward to the very most, because this is where I actually come right out into the audience and let people touch me. Maybe running a little long for that part of the program, though. But I don't even know if I can do this, but I see, not at this table, but the one right back there, I see a gentleman sitting. Would you be willing to come up and help me? I see a gentleman there. Would you? I see a gentleman right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Well, this is very nice. Very good. Wow. It's nice that you have both of your friends here tonight, too. Very good. This is excellent. You can come and stand right over here, sir, if you would. My name is Pete McLeod, and your name is?
Not Pete McLeod.
Very good.
Brad Markoff.
Hi, Brad. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Brad, I'll tell you the truth. Normally, I would not do this, but this was my first time to come and perform before this group. And I was so excited about this that honestly, about 3 or 4 days ago, I went out and I bought a brand new magic trick to do for the first time ever right here on the stage. And I mean, I can do the trick. There's no problem with that. But I might need to refer to my instructions just a little bit. Do you mind? Thank you. You do mind? You don't? Okay, good. Thank you. That's good. All I have here is just they hand print the really good instructions. And thanks. This is very simple. It says number 1, admire outfit. Brad, I really admire your outfit. No, it's stylish. It's conservative. It's very nice. Oh, I didn't even know Kenmore made suits. No, that is fantastic. No, seriously, I mean, it's very nice. I had no idea. Number 1, admire outfit. Number 2, admire tie. I really admire your tie. It's color coordinated. Ties are us. That is fantastic, Brett. No, seriously, very nice. It's very nice. Number 1, admire outfit. Number 2, admire tie. Number 3, place paper. Okay, I think I can do this. Now, Brad, I'll tell you what. I have here just a regular sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. There's nothing special about it. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to place the paper under and over your tie. There is nothing under or over the tie except the piece of paper. Now, Brad, for the most part, would you say you're a good sport? That's fantastic. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to experience is a perfect illusion of sight and sound. If you listen, you can actually hear the paper being cut. If you watch, you can see the paper being cut. As I cut through the paper, it gives the impression or the illusion that the tie is cut as well. Here, place paper over tie. Well, I don't get this at all, Brad. Instructions specifically said place the paper over the tie. cut through the paper. Oh, come on. This is an idea. I don't, you could try one of those deals, right, like that. I'm sure, well, what? I'll tell you. Here's another idea, if you want. I have seen this in the greater Los Angeles area. Something that is quite stylish right now is that bow tie look thing. That's pretty nice. I really do apologize. You see, the guys, I'll just do that, because you see, the guys down at the trick shop, they told me these scissors would not cut through the actual material. Boy, but they do. I don't. Boy, let me pick this up. I'll just do this. Well, let's give Brad a big hand for coming up. Let me try. Can I try one more thing? Because I don't know if this will work or not, Brad. But what I have here, I have a little receptacle. I'm going to put your tie in here. I actually got this at a friend's church that I visited recently, and they were passing these out. Yeah. No, a bunch of them. They're giving them out. I said, well, that's great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wave my hand across the top of this bag and say some magic words that I learned at this church that I visited. Magic words I learned in church. Bingo! If you reach in the bag, I think you'll be duly impressed with what you find there, Brad. That's a bummer. Does anybody here know any magic words at all? Anyone? What did you say? Have a banana. I don't know. I've never. When I count to three, could we all say have a banana? I don't. 1, 2, 3. Have a banana. I've never used that before, but I've never been in this group before either. So ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Brad. You can go back. Thank you, sir, so much. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I've got it worked out. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, aren't you thankful that I only use my powers for good? I'll tell you, I had such a great time here with you tonight. I really did. I had a wonderful, and I want to tell you, if any of you are ever performing someplace, would you please let me know? Yeah, no, I would love to come and laugh at you. That would be very, very good. Really, I had a wonderful time. My name is Pete McLeod. Thank you very, very much for letting me come be with you. Thank you very, very much.
That'll get us in the Purim spirit. Thanks, Pete. Our shul is indeed fortunate to have the spiritual leadership that we have in the person of our Rav. He has imbued in each and every one of us a sense of spirituality which transfers into each and every facet of our daily lives. It is not just what we hear and we learn on Shabbos, but we carry the spirit and ethics of our Yiddishkeit with us day in and day out, regardless of our professions, regardless of who we are or where we go. Our Rav has taught us to be involved in our community at large. We must not only look out for what is good for us, but to look out for what is best for the community that we are part of. We must care about others and their feelings, and not just our own. He has taught us to make a positive impact on others outside of our community, to Jews on the right, to Jews on the left, and to non-Jews as well. His tremendous involvement in the community, his caring for the poor, the sick, the widows, and the orphans, are all shining examples of the path in which each and every one of us must follow. His love and concern for Eretz Yisrael, Am Yisrael, and Medinat Yisrael is evident to all who know him. He has imbued in us the strong kesher, the strong bond we have to our beloved Eretz Yisrael. Through his direction, we have adopted a family who lost their husband and father due to Arab terrorism. We have purchased ambulances, motor scooters, and sent funds to Hatzalah, to name just a few projects. We have sent mission after mission to Israel, with one leaving, God willing, this upcoming Pesach. And when the congregation sings, Im Eshkachech Yerushalayim, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, after davening every Shabbos, it brings goosebumps to all who are present. His leadership in the shul, in every aspect of our congregation, whether administration, public relations, programming, and fundraising, has made our shul one that is the envy of congregations locally and nationwide. His dedication to his Rabbanit and family, despite the numerous commitments he has, is a pleasure to behold. And most of all, he is a friend to each and every one of us. He cares about each and every one of us, and he always does it with a smile, and sometimes he even tries to do it with a joke. Our community is truly blessed. To present this year's Tribute Award, it is my pleasure and my honor to present our Mora d'Asra, Rabbi Elazar Muskin.
Please join me in giving a big hand to our MC for the evening, our co-chair, to Dr. Mark Oldenburg. He is one of a kind, in more ways than Mark, we love you, and thank you very, very much for that beautiful introduction. Many of you know that in shul a week ago, I was not present. And many of you know that Dr. Mark Oldenburg got up during announcements and shared with you my secret. He shared with you, he stood up and he showed you an orange tzedakah collection card with my picture on it. And he told you that I was not scholar in residence in Boca Raton, but rather that I was on a mission for Young Israel of Century City. Because of our deficit, he informed you, I was on a mission to raise $21 billion. And he told you that there was only two ways that I would be able to return to Young Israel of Century City and be your rabbi. He said if everybody in the congregation would come to the banquet, and I understand some people decided I shouldn't come back, or I should come home with $21 billion. Dr. Mark, would you please come forward? One good turn deserves another. Mark, I went on that fundraising trip. And on the East Coast, I found a man, one man, who heard that if I didn't raise the money, I'd stay in his community, and he didn't want that. So he wrote me a check of $21 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, it just so happens that the man's name is Dr. Mark H. Goldenberg for $21 billion. Dr. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you. Rubber.
On the first mission that our shul led, back in January 2000, Alan Teichman joined us. Alan and Mrs. Friedman, as you heard before. Actually, Alan and Dr. Mark Oldenburg have the distinction of being the only two people that have traveled with me 3 times to Israel. And I extend my condolences to both of them. But during that trip, Alan's father arranged for us, Mr. Sal Teichman arranged for us, a wonderful trip to visit the Belzer Beis Medrash, the new Belz Beis Medrash. The new building in Yerushalayim is a magnificent structure. It took 20 years to build, and it cost $70 million. It was built to look like the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. As we toured the building, and we were very impressed, we came into the big Beis Medrash of 3,000 plus seats, and there on the Shulchan, where they read the Torah, we saw a big leather pillow. And next to it, we saw a wooden paddle. And we had no idea what a pillow and what a paddle would be doing in a Beis Medrash. And we found out that actually its name is the Nandor Itzkevich Klopper pillow. Anyone who attends the first minyan at Young Israel of Century City knows that Mr. Itzkevich bangs on the shulchan, bangs on his stender when it is time to repeat the Amidah. Well, I never knew where Mr. Itzkevich learned this custom until I visited Belz. And there we found out that that's exactly the custom. They have, I promise you, a leather pillow with a clock. And when the Rebbe is finished with his silent Amidah, the Gabbai comes and he claps onto the pillow to inform everybody present that we are now going to repeat the Amidah. Well, Alan was standing next to me. Alan was president of the shul at the time. And we all asked Alan to take his chance at slapping the pillow. And there he got all red. He built up all the strength in his body, Dorit. I never saw him like this. And he took that wooden paddle and he hit it that the whole Beis Medrash shook from his might. Now, if you don't believe that, you will believe. The truth is that Alan and Dorit are two of the sweetest people who couldn't hurt a fly. And that's the truth. And no, he couldn't really hit that pillow too hard. You see, Alan and Dorit represent the best that we have. On Shabbos afternoon of that trip, we had the distinct privilege of hearing a lecture by the world-famous expert in Jewish customs and minhagim, Professor Daniel Sperber. He talked to us about the custom, because it was just at the time of Parshat Yitro, when the 10 Commandments, the Aseret HaDibrot, are read. And in most congregations, including our own, we rise to listen when the Aseret HaDibrot are read. And he told us that that custom is not universally accepted. And he demonstrated through source after source, with no one less than Maimonides himself, writing a response saying, it's totally inappropriate to stand for the Aseret HaDibrot, because no part of the Torah is more important than any other. And unless you're going to stand for it all, you must sit for it all. And you should not stand for the Aseret HaDibrot. And as he gave us the lecture, he ended with telling us the following story. He told us that 1 month prior to meeting with us in Yerushalayim at the end of January, he was selected with a very distinguished group of scholars from Israel to leave on a Saturday night, fly through the night, and end up in Vilna, Lithuania. They were going to be there for all of 1 day. The plane's mission was to retrieve 300 plus Sifrei Torah confiscated during the war by the Nazis, Yamach Shemam. Since the war, those Sifrei Torah have been stored in the Vilna library. Many of the Torahs were in terrible condition. Fragments. Most of them were not kosher Sifrei Torah. During the trip, an Israeli reporter, a secular Jew, came along on the trip and turned to Professor Sperber, and he presented the following question. He says, I don't understand. He says, why have you come this long distance for 1 day, such an exhausting trip, to collect Sifrei Torah, and most of them aren't kosher? They will never be able to be read in a synagogue. Professor Sperber told us that he responded by referring to the Rambam that I just mentioned. And he said to him, and I want to quote, he said to him, each part of the Torah is precious to us. We will strive to save each fragment, and maybe with hard work, we'll even be able to sew this piece together with that piece. And combined, we will create a Sefer Torah. He then looked into the eyes of the reporter and he said, "Remember this conversation. Remember what I am telling you, for you will be surprised. We will achieve this because this is our dream. Every fragment counts." For Dorit and Alan, every fragment counts. This is what they were taught in their homes as children. It's not just parchment that I'm referring to. Every fragment represents a Jew. Every letter in the Torah represents a Jew. And every one counts. You see, when you talk to Alan and you talk to Dorit, you realize no Jew doesn't count. Every Jew is precious. During Alan's presidency, we would often talk about our collective responsibility to showing and to demonstrating the beauty of our heritage to those Jews who've yet to taste it, have yet to experience it. And he wanted to constantly do more and more in this realm. Alan and Dorit are a team. Whatever Alan did as a president, Dorit supported, always with a smile. And whenever Dorit did anything for the shul, may it be she chaired for years the Mishloach Manot project. She chairs to this very day our Brunch and More learning program. Alan supports it. It's a fantastic experience working with these two people, because when they're finished with one project, they always turn to you and say, "Okay, what's the next?" Alan and Dorit don't sit back and let others do for them. They lead. They lead by example. They roll up their sleeves and they do for the community. I believe the most exciting moment in Alan's recent career has been when he informed me that he was accepted as a Wexner Fellow. Why? Why was he so excited? He was excited because he was going to learn not only with some of the finest Jewish minds in the country, if not the world, but he was going to share that Torah with other Jews of different stripes, and was going to make one big Sefer Torah. Perhaps, however, the real reflection of why we really admire Alan and Dorit so much is on how they responded to this dinner. To tell you that I had to twist their arm, to tell you that I had to use every ounce of persuasion in my body to convince both of them to say yes, is not to tell you the whole story. They really, really didn't want this honor. They finally only agreed because I begged. And I said, "I need it. The shul needs it. Please, Alan, please, Dorit." And they wouldn't say no. With that kind of request, they wouldn't say no. But there's even more to the story. And that's how they wanted this dinner to unfold in front of everybody present. They did not want it to be a testimonial to them. They did not want the focus to be on them. They begged over and over, "Let's talk about our shul. Let's celebrate our Beit HaKnesset. Let's celebrate our approach to Judaism. Let's talk about the Israel missions," they told me. "Let's celebrate the fact that Young Israel of Century City is the only synagogue on the West Coast that has led 3 missions and now is on to its 4th. That's what they wanted to celebrate. They wanted to celebrate the fact that our shul was the first shul in the country to adopt a family that was victim of terror. They didn't want the focus on them. And that tells you who they really are. They've been excellent students of their parents because that's what they were taught at home. Allow me to close. Alan, Dorit, I want to give you both a bracha. We love you. I do carpool with your family, so I know you well. Every morning picking up your oldest with my oldest. It's a very special relationship. But I want to give you the bracha of health, of strength, to continue being able to take every fragment, every parchment, every Jew, and sew them together into one united Jewish people. We know that's your dream. We know you will succeed. We are very proud of you. Tonight, this dinner is one of our biggest successes. It's because everybody in the community loves you. Thank you very, very much. It's now my honor to call upon the co-chairs of the banquet who helped make this a big success to make the presentation of the special gift that was commissioned in honor of this evening. I call upon Drs. Yosef and Dr. Gilad Englenoff, Alan Gindy, Craig and Esty Levine, and Brad and Mia Markov. Would you all come forward to help me make the presentation? Alan, Dorit, would you please come forward?
On this special evening, as we publicly paid tribute to Alan and Dorit for all their efforts on behalf of our shul and community, we felt that our presentation should reflect our gratitude for everything that they have accomplished.
During Alan's presidency, our shul's support for Israel became our hallmark. We organized more solidarity missions than any other synagogue on the West Coast, and we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for different causes in Israel.
We therefore commission as our gift a wall hanging by the Israeli artist Adina Gat, who created the beautiful tapestries that hang in our sanctuary. The verse on the wall hanging is from the book of Tehillim. It reads, Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim Yishlayu Ol Habayach. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Those who love you will be serene.
We hope that this wall hanging will always remind Alan and Dorit of the high esteem that they have earned in our shul, and the gratitude we feel for their devotion to our Torah and to the state of Israel. May they be blessed by the Almighty with true serenity for all that they have done and continue to do for our people. The inscription on the gift reads, Young Israel Century City Tribute Award presented to Alan and Dorit Teichman, March 16th, 2003, the 12th of Adar Bet, 5763, Elazar R. Muskin, Rabbi, Dr. George Leibovitz, President.
Thank you very much. Rabbi Muskin, honored rabbis, beloved family, and dear friends. Throughout our lives, each of us are blessed with moments that touch us so profoundly. Tonight is one of those moments. Dorit and I are honored to be in a room surrounded by the people who are dearest to our hearts, all gathered in support of a cause that is so special to us. On behalf of Dorit, our children, Ariella, Jacqueline, and Evan, I say thank you to all of you for being here tonight and for making this evening so successful and so meaningful. We would like to express a special thank you to our family, our dear family and friends, some lifelong friends and some new friends who are all so very important to us, and we appreciate the special effort you made to be with us tonight. A lot of hard work goes into making an evening like this happen. One needs to see what goes on behind the scenes in order to gain a full appreciation for what really goes into it, the full detail involved. Our special thanks to Rebecca for your great attitude, your hard work and devotion, and especially your great sense of humor. To Chana, you're a great addition to the shul. You're a pleasure to work with. And to our Shul's ambassador, Mark Goldenberg, thank you very much for taking it easy on us tonight. And your lovely wife, Debbie, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. Your unlimited talents and your contributions for the community know no bounds. And to all of the dinner co-chairpersons, to our president, Dr. George Leibowitz, and his wife, Aviva, to Yossi and Gilad Englenoff, Steve and Sarah Friedman, Alan and Barbara Gindi, Craig and Esty Levine, Brad and Mia Markoff, and my brother, Doobie Teichman. Thank you all for your enthusiasm and your tireless energy you invested in making this beautiful evening happen. You are prime examples how this organization is not just a dynamic shul, but it is a loving, caring, close-knit, extended mishpacha. And as that family grows, and it has grown, you get to know each new member a little better. As you heard earlier, a year ago, I had the privilege of traveling together with Mrs. Friedman. She did tip me because she delivers blintzes to our home over the last couple of weeks. They are delicious, thank you. What a great honor and joy it is for us to be sharing this special evening with you, Mrs. Friedman, and your husband. We wish you mazel tov, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, on your most deserving award. We wish you and your family much continued nachas in good health. Mazel tov. Ladies and gentlemen, in a little less than 24 hours from now, we'll be celebrating the festive holiday of Purim. We know that one of the pivotal turning points of the story of Purim is where Mordechai turns to Esther and basically lays it all on the line for her. He tells her that the situation for the Jewish people reached catastrophic proportions and that it was time for her to put the influence of her royal position to the ultimate test, even as they both knew the enormous risks involved. He explained to her that somehow, some way or another, the Jewish people must be saved and will be saved. The only question was who will be the one to make it happen. Who will step forward and take action in the face of the crisis? Kim hacharesh tacharishi. For if you keep silent at this time, Mordechai tells Esther, Revach v'hatzala yamod layodim mimakom acher. Relief and deliverance will come to the Jewish people from some other place. Now or never, you or somebody else, what will it be? Esther, of course, responds by saying, yes, it's now and it's me. She boldly steps forward and takes whatever physical and spiritual actions necessary to bring about the Yeshua, the miraculous salvation of Am Yisrael. The rest is history. This is the essence of Jewish leadership. In any situation of need or crisis, be it within the local Jewish community or the global Jewish community, a simple question goes out to all of us. Are you one who boldly steps forward, shoulders responsibility, and takes action? Or are you one who sits back and defers that responsibility and privilege to others? Among the many things that Dorit and I have come to admire and cherish so deeply about Young Israel of Century City is the fact that over and over again, we have, as a community, resoundingly answered that question in the former. Never sitting back and deferring with complacency, always stepping forward and acting with alacrity and generosity. Indeed, the essence of Jewish leadership personified. For this path to action is consistently blazed by our esteemed Rabbi and Rebbetzin Elazar and Ruchama Muskin, who inspire us to reach within ourselves and demonstrate that Revach v'hatzala yamod layodim mimakom zeh, that relief and deliverance must come to our Jewish people from this place. This is not only seen through the tremendous amounts of tzedakah raised for our brethren living in trouble spots throughout the world, but also through our hands-on involvement in vital projects on behalf of Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, and Medinat Yisrael. It is quite telling that, particularly during these critical times, as you've heard, we've had several missions to Israel, always starting to plan the next trip before the current one is over. Sure, this Kehillah could wait to respond and take action, but it is simply not our way. This is not an inward-looking congregation, it's an outward-looking congregation. Give me just a moment. It's in times of crisis and distress, as well as in the events of day-to-day living. I mean, how can one describe what a special gift, what a blessing it is, to be able to raise a family within such a positive, nurturing, and supportive environment? How inspired we have been by the Torah and Yiddishkeit that emanates from our shul. How touched we have been by the way we rejoice in each other's happiness and, Rahman al-Islam, empathize in each other's sorrow. For all of these gifts and so much more, we are so grateful and proud to be a part of this Kehillah of Young Israel of Century City. Hakol holech achar harav, achar harash. Everything flows forth from the head. Rabbi Muskin and Ruchama, our spiritual leaders, our mentors, but above all, our very dear friends. Pirkei Avos, as everyone knows, teaches us, Aseh lecha rav ukneh lecha chaver. Provide yourself with a teacher and acquire for yourself a friend. How fortunate are we that within our relationship with the Muskin family, we have a two-in-one deal. Deeply revered teachers and true heart and soul chaverim. Whatever the circumstance, Ruchama and the rabbi are always there, offering guidance and insight, love and friendship, encouragement and strength. Rabbi and Ruchama, there is little doubt in our minds that it is due to your vision, your leadership, and your living example that Young Israel of Century City is the radiant beacon of light that it is for our community. May you and your entire family continue to go from strength to greater strength for many long, happy, and healthy years to come. In conclusion, I would like to invoke a passage from Tehillim, which actually serves as our ultimate claim to credibility and legitimacy, our license, if you will, for standing up here tonight. David HaMelech writes, Esai nai el ha'arim, me'ayin yavo ezri. I lift my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help, my strength come? The Medrash tells us, do not read the pasuk only as el ha'arim, to the mountains, but read it also as saying el ha'horim, to the parents. In other words, I lift my eyes up, I look to my parents, and I see mountains, mountains of faith and resolve. I see, oh so clearly, from where my own strength shall come. Dorit and I stand before you tonight, not on the basis of our own heights of achievement and worthiness. We look up to the mountains. We look at our parents, my parents and Dorit's parents, who from our childhood days onward have shown us by example what it means to be loving, generous, and charitable people. Each in their own special and legendary way have shown us what it means to do everything within one's means to build and strengthen Torah and Yiddishkeit for this generation and for generations to come. Our greatest wish and quest in life is that one day, God willing, our own children will seek to perpetuate goodness and spirituality in whatever surroundings they find themselves. And when asked from where did their sense of direction come, who knows, perhaps maybe they might even say, Esai nai el ha'arim. If we indeed merit to behold such a day, what a blessing life will have been. We wish that with this for us, for ourselves, we wish this upon all of you here tonight. After all, this is why we are here. This is what the Young Israel of Century City is really all about. We're putting the mountains in place so that our children and grandchildren will forever sing, Esai nai el ha'arim, me'ayin yavo ezri, ezri me'im Hashem, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Thank you all so very much. Afrei lechem Purim and good night.
Beautiful, beautiful speech, Alan. Mazel tov, Dorit and Alan. Let's hear it for Dorit and Alan. Mazel tov. Dessert is about to be served, and we are going to be pulling the raffle tickets. So please stay so that you can win your raffle tickets. Craig is going to come up here and enjoy your desserts. Thank you.